welcome back to another video. I thought I'd just do a quick little video whilst I'm on a break and I've got a chance to actually do a video for once in my life. Sorry for the lack of video content, but it's been manic. A little video that I wanted to do was how to prepare for your day as a GP nurse to make your day run smoothly. Now, it won't always run smoothly because there's always hiccups in the way and you might get something urgent and things like that in the day. That can't be helped. But planning is your key to getting good time management and organisation skills with your clinics. First tip, get organised. Run through your list for the day before, the week before. I always do mine a week in advance, so I will check my days as the week goes on and just keep an eye on my patients. I check what they're here for. I check if they need any recall bloods or weights or blood pressures or anything like that, and I add it into the appointment if I've got time. And if they do need any bloods, what bloods do they need? Have they been requested? If not, then add them on so it's ready, and then you're not panicking on the day. What bloods has this patient got? And it takes up all of your appointment time. So everything is ready for your patient to walk through that door, do it all, finish the patient in the allocated time that's been given to you for that patient. And also things like injections, like if they're having the depot injection or an Abido injection, I will check through their notes to make sure they're on time for their injection. So if they're too early that you can't give that injection, that's going to be a wasted appointment. So I make sure that it is the right time they're having it. If it's not, I will call the patient and I'll rebook the appointment, and that leaves the slot free then for another patient, which happens more often than it should. Second tip is I get into work. You are not obliged to do this. I get to work half an hour early to set up my clinics. I set up all my room, I go through my list. Do I need any depots? Do I need any injections? What do I need? And everything is there ready. So I don't have to leave this room unless something unexpected comes along. I don't have to leave this room to go searching for something. When the patient's here in my room, I'm there, I'm prepared, done. And then I will do a second check of my list to make sure there are no changes, because sometimes patients cancel and they put other patients in, so you want to make sure that you've got everything you need on the day. So that's why I get here early as well, check that list for second, maybe even a third time. Tip number 3, potentially my last tip. I'm sorry if you can hear fridges and things like that in the background going, they've just switched on for silly reasons. So tip number 3 is when you've got some spare time during your day. When is that ever? But luckily our fantastic management team give us catch-up slots. In that catch-up slot, if I'm free in that catch-up slot, I will write down what my patient needs. So we get a lot of long-term condition management. So this is what I do. I write on my piece of paper, they're here for diabetes, they're here for asthma. What medications are they on? It's here, what they're on. So it's there in front of me, so I don't have to go scrolling through their notes when the patient's sat here waiting, because that's just going to take you ages and take up all of your time and your appointment for the patient. It's just a good way to prepare for your patient. The second part to this is when I've checked the medication, so this patient is on Seretide for their asthma, so I will get up the page for Seretide on there on the Right Breathe website. I use that religiously for my asthma, and then I will look at the flow chart and see, okay, what's the next step? So if this patient is struggling, what's my next step for that patient? What's the next treatment option? So that I'm prepared for when they tell me the worst case scenario, nothing's working, all my symptoms are bad, what am I going to do? You're prepared then, you know your next steps. Always prepare for the worst. That is my final tip. Whether your patient has got diabetes, asthma, whether they're just coming in for a pill check, always prepare for the worst case scenario. What happens if this patient is really unwell or they suddenly collapse, they're having an asthma attack, they're in your clinic, because it does happen. We've had ambulances galore in the last few weeks at our clinic. Every day there's been an ambulance here for somebody carting out on a stretcher. Be prepared for the worst case scenario and what's going to happen. Always have that in the back of your head. But also, like I was saying with the medications, if they're on diabetes medications, what are they on? What is the next step from that? Where do you go from that? If they need referrals, where are you going to refer to? Have everything prepared, ready when they come in. And again, that is part of my admin time, my catch-up slots. I will do that, getting ready. I'll have it written down on a piece of paper. Even when I come in early at the start of my shift before I start, I'll have my list of things that I'm doing for my patients, my first few patients, and then I'll catch up and go like that. It's a great way to manage your time, a great way to get organised, and a great way to help your day go way smoother than it should. It is very rare I run behind. If I'm running behind, something has happened. something's happened to my patient, or that patient has taken way longer than it should because there's 101 things that I need to do that nobody booked them in for, and I want to get them whilst they're here in clinic. That's the only times I run over. I'm really well organised, and my clinics 9 times out of 10, touch wood, don't want to jinx it, it's almost Friday, my clinics run really, really well. I can't complain, but just putting those little, it is a lot of work, but once you get into that routine of doing that, it's like it's second hand. It's like you'll be well away, your clinics will be running way better, I promise you. What tips have you got for me? Have you got any tips that you do? Any advice? I'm sure I've missed out loads of things, but let me know in the comments what you do. Let's share so we can all run smoothly together. But for now, have a great day everyone, see you next time.